Hi there, and welcome back to Triplicate, and time for a new project, which is this. This is just a sort of patterned silvered glass ball with some LEDs in it. Came with one set of white LEDs which were battery powered, and I added another set of red ones which were originally a Christmas decoration, converted it to work off a USB power supply. I made the wooden base as well. So, shall we plug it in and have a look at it? Use my arm. There we go. It works, but it's a bit rubbish. Looking through the viewfinder, you can barely see it. So I thought it was time we improved it. And to do that, I have bought a strip of these. Now these are RGB LEDs with the built-in driver chip and serial interface in them. So basically you connect one end up to your micro and just send a stream of serial data around, and you can write any colour to any LED. Okay, so this is what these chips are, and the way they work is they've got a power, a ground, an input and output, and you chain them together like this. Okay, and they're very clever. You send the data to the input of the first one, that takes out what it wants and sends the rest to the second one, which takes out what it wants and sends the rest to the third one, etc, etc. So here we have a little diagram of that. So the first one takes the first 24 bits, the second one takes the second 24 bits, the third takes the third 24 bits, and if you leave 50 microseconds somewhere, it all resets. Very clever. And if we go down here, that's the 24-bit data, which is just 3 lots of 8 bits, red, green and blue. So I think what we should do now is wire it up to our trusty Arduino and see if we can get any of these LEDs to light up in interesting colours. Okay, so we have our Uno here, which is just running a copy of the basic Blink program, and we have power and ground here and input signal here. So shall we power this down, connect this up, have a look. Red to 5 volts, black to ground. Always double check. Black to ground, red to 5 volts. And the power we will put on digital pin maybe 3. Okay, so let us unwieldy this, string that across there and put a reel of solder on it. Just add a shot for you folks, and we'll power it up, and I would imagine nothing will happen. And nothing does happen. Okay, so now we need to try and generate some code that'll drive this thing. Okay, so Adafruit, who I sort of seem to have invented these strips, though you're just connecting the LED chips up as per the datasheet, so they don't have a don't really own them. Anyway, they have this library, and here's an example which go down here, just sets each colour of each LED to 0, 150, 0 in RGB. A moderately bright green colour, it says. So if we run this, the only thing we have to do is change that pin to, if I can, oh actually easier still, and plug that into 6 and run it as it is. So shall we see if that works? Well, will you look at that? Straight in there. Shall we get it to do something more interesting? So if I it wants me to copy it into my own thing, right? So we are gonna do just int r comma g comma b, and we are gonna switch I and 3 case 0 break some seriously cobbled together code here. R equals 150, G equals 0, B equals 0. Right, we'll make 1, 2, 3. Second one, green is 150. Third one, blue is 150. Fourth one, they're all 150. I get white, we hope. So if I put that R, G and B, and we have, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 50, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 59, I think probably 60, but I swiftly counted 59 there. So somewhere up here there is a define numpixels. We'll call it 58 and we can play with it. little eye. Try again. Seems to be going. Red, green, blue, white, red, green. So, we come round. Are we in there? Yeah, too long to see all of it. Right, it is 60. Right, should I see if I can get the whole lot in somehow? Right, so we will put 60 in. And run it again. Oh, we go. And I think we'll have another 20 minutes of video just doing that. I like that. And that was just so easy to get working. Right. So now we need to try and think what we actually want to do with it. So I have plenty of ideas, and I will go away and try and pull them together a bit and come back, and we'll see about implementing some of them. Okay, so I thought now we'd try and see how we can control the brightness. We've got them to turn on in turn. So I've changed the code, which I won't bore you with, to just bring them all gradually up to full brightness and back down again. And we will run that now. Okay, there we go. So that's coming up. So we've got 8. There's red, red and green, yellow making yellow, green, green and blue making turquoise, blue, blue and red making magenta or purple, and then all 3 white, and all 3 at a 16th, which is off the screen, grey. And they do get brighter and dimmer. I think the human perception of brightness must be logarithmic, because they seem to come on and get to a certain brightness very quickly and then sort of get brighter not very much after that. But that's not a problem, we can deal with that. Now you probably noticed from the title I've called this mood light, because that's what I'm intending to do. I'm intending to try and portray various moods, and in fact put it in a room and perhaps lead people's moods to sort of calmness and happiness. All sounds a bit new agey, I know, but it's sort of a bit tongue-in-cheek, but it'll be fun to do. So I've got to try and think of ways of portraying moods with these lights, and what I plan to do is add a light sensor, light level sensor certainly, and a microphone so I can detect sound level, and possibly a motion sensor, and from that read what's going on in the room and try and interpret that to drive the moods of the lights. I've not really thought it through any further than that, So it might not work at all, or it might be absolutely brilliant, who knows. We're going to have some fun trying out. So I thought I'd leave this as probably a bit of a taster really. I thought it might be harder to get these up and running than it was, which was very easy. So it's going to be a short one, and I think I'll leave it there. So if you like the channel, please subscribe. If you've got anything you'd like to say, leave a comment, leave a thumbs up if you think it's good. And for now, from Triplicate, I'll say goodbye. So I had this just hung up on end in the office, get it working, got this sort of rainbow effect. Just to try it out, and Angela said, hey, if that was in a semicircle it would be a really good NHS Solidarity rainbow. So here it is in our front window, and I guess this is going to be its job for the duration, so perhaps the Moonlight project is going to be put on hold a bit. So stay safe if you're watching this, as I say, in the duration, and I'll see you next time.